October 26, 2014, from AT&T Park in San Francisco, California. It was Game 5 of the World Series between the Kansas City Royals and the San Francisco Giants. And on the mound for the Giants was Madison Bumgarner, and on the mound for the Royals was James Shields. So Bumgarner came out to pitch the top of the first, and he got Escobar to pop out, and then he got Gordon to ground out, and then Kane got a single, but then Mad Bum struck out Eric Hosmer to end the first half of the first. So now in the bottom of the first, Shields on the mound, and big game James Shield got Gregor Blanco to ground out, and then Panic popped out, and then Posey got a single, and then Sandoval grounded out. So after one, it was still knotted up at goose eggs. So now in the top of the second, Bumgarner let up a leadoff single to Salvador Perez, but then he struck out the next three batters as he struck out Moustakas, Infante, and Dyson. So now we headed to the bottom of the second. Shields on the mound, he got Hunter Pence, ended up getting a single to lead off the bottom half of the second, and then Brandon Belt ended up reaching on a bunt, and so now we had two runners on and nobody out, and Travis Ishikawa at the plate, and he ended up popping out, but actually the runners ended up moving over as they had tagged up. So now Brandon Crawford came to the plate and he grounded out, but Hunter Pence was able to cross home, and it was now 1-0 San Francisco over Kansas City. So for the first time in this series, we didn't see any scoring in the first inning, and the first run of this game was put up in the bottom of the second. Bumgarner would then ground out, and the second came to a close, but not after the Giants had scored the one run to take the one-run lead at 1-0 over the Royals. So now in the top of the third, Madison Bumgarner set down the side in order as he got Shields, Escobar, and then he ended up getting Gordon a strikeout as he got that lone strikeout to end the top half of the third. And then in the bottom of the third, Shields would do the same as he got the side to set down in order. So he got Blanco, Panic, and Posey all out, but he didn't get any strikeouts though. So now after three, it was still 1-0 Giants over the Royals. So in the fourth inning, in the top of the fourth, Mad Bum would end up setting down the Royals in order, and he got Kane, Hosmer, and Perez all to ground out. So now in the bottom of the fourth, Shields let up a leadoff single to Kung Fu Panda Pablo Sandoval, and then Hunter Pence struck out, and Brandon Belt struck out, and Ishikawa now came to the plate with Pablo Sandoval on base and 2 outs. Ishikawa got a single, so now we had 2 on, 2 outs for Brandon Crawford, and Crawford got a single that brought in Kung Fu Panda from second as he hustled around the bases to score the second run of the game, as it was now 2-0 San Francisco over Kansas City. Bumgarner then came to the plate and he struck out, so Shields struck out Bumgarner to end the fourth. So after 4 innings, it was 2-0 Giants over the Royals. Now in the top of the fifth, Bumgarner ended up getting Moustakas to line out as he set down his 10th batter in a row, but then Omar Infante got a double as he broke up Bumgarner's streak he had going there, a little nice 10-out streak. And so now Dyson came to the plate, and Bumgarner struck him out, and then he struck out Shields as he returned the favor, as Shields had struck him out to end the bottom of the fourth, and now Bumgarner gets Shields striking out to end the top of the fifth. So now in the bottom of the fifth, Shields ends up getting Blanco to ground out to lead off the inning, but then Joe Panic came up and got a single. Joe Panic then moved to second on a wild pitch by Shields while Buster Posey was up at bat, and Posey ended up drawing a walk, and then Pablo Sandoval came to the plate and he ended up striking out. Hunter Pence then got out, and now that was the end of the fifth. So after 5, it was 2-0 San Francisco over Kansas City. Now in the top of the sixth, Madison Bumgarner was set the Royals down in order. He's got Escobar, Gordon, and Kane all out. So now in the bottom of the sixth, Shields still on the mound for the Royals. He ended up getting Brandon Belt to pop out, but then Travis Ishikawa got a single. Juan Perez then came in to pinch run for Ishikawa, and Brandon Crawford was now at the plate, and he grounded out, and Perez moved over to second. Madison Bumgarner then came to the plate, and he ended up popping out, and the sixth came to a close. So it was still 2-0 San Francisco over Kansas City after 6. Now in the top of the seventh, Bumgarner is at this point pitching an excellent game as he always does. And now Eric Hosmer would lead off the inning, and he got a single to lead things off. Perez then lined out, and Masakas popped up, and Infante grounded out, and the top half of the 7th came to a close. So now in the bottom half of the 7th, Kelvin Herrera would come in to relieve Shields to start off the inning, and Gregorio Blanco would be the first batter that Herrera would face, and he ended up grounding out. Herrera then walked Joe Panic, but then he got Buster Posey to ground into a double play to bring an end to the 7th inning. So after 7, it was still 2-0 Giants over the Royals. Now in the top of the 8th, Bumgarner would end up striking out Billy Butler to begin the inning, and then he got Nix and Escobar to pop out. So now we headed to the bottom of the 8th. Kelvin Herrera still on the mound for the Royals. He let up a leadoff single to Pablo Sandoval, and then Hunter Pence got a single, and so now Wade Davis would come in to relieve Herrera. Wade Davis would then strike out the first batter. He saw Brandon Belt, and then Juan Perez came to the plate with 2 on and 1 out, and Perez hit a double, and that would bring in both Kung Fu Panda and Hunter Pence as Perez cleared the bases, and he ended up reaching third on a throwing error by Escobar, and it was now 4-0 with those 2 RBIs by Perez. So now Brandon Crawford came to the plate with Perez 90 feet away from home, and Perez ended up scoring off the single by Crawford, and it was now 5-0 Giants over the Royals. Bumgarner then struck out, and Gregorio Polanco struck out, and the 8th inning came to a close. So now it was the top of the 9th with the score 5-0 Giants over the Royals. Madison Bumgarner was just 3 outs away from pitching the shutout, and the Royals were 3 outs away from going down 3-2 in the series as they were down by 5 runs. Alex Gordon came to the plate, and he popped out, and then the ALCS MVP Lorenzo Cain came to the plate, and he grounded out. So now Eric Hosmer was up as he represented the last out in this game, and Eric Hosmer grounded out, and the game came to a close. Madison Bumgarner gets the shutout, and the Giants win 5-0 as they now take the 3-2 lead in this series. And on this game, Madison Bumgarner got the shutout. He pitched a complete game, all 9 innings, did not allow any earned runs. He only allowed 4 hits. He did not walk 1 batter, and he had 8 strikeouts. So a very impressive performance by the Mad Bum. Big game, James Shields got the loss. He pitched 6 innings. He allowed 2 earned runs. He let up 8 hits and a walk, and he had 4 strikeouts. And for the Giants, in this game, Pablo Sandoval was 2 for 4. He crossed home twice. Hunter Pence was also 2 for 4, and he also crossed the plate twice. Juan Perez was 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs, and he also came across home. And Brandon Crawford was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. So quite an impressive win by the Giants as they win the final game in San Francisco of this World Series, because now the final 2 games are set to play in Kansas City if necessary. As we know, we will be seeing Game 6 in Kansas City, as it's a must-win situation for the Royals, and the Giants have a chance to win their 3rd World Series in 5 years. But as for this game, the Giants win in Game 5, 5-0 over Kansas City.